Hello everyone, today I'm really excited. Today I'm going to be doing my subscribers decide what I eat for a day. Thank you so much to everyone that left a comment, I really appreciate it, so let's get into the video now. For breakfast, I'm going to be taking my Luluco's suggestion and I'm going to be having a Japanese breakfast, so let's head into the kitchen now. The first thing I'm going to be making for a Japanese breakfast is tsunomono or cucumber salad. The first thing we're going to do is thinly slice 2 cucumbers. Now we're going to sprinkle in half a teaspoon of kosher salt into our cucumbers. Now I'm going to carefully mix the salt into our cucumbers using my hands, and then we're going to let the mixture sit for 5 minutes. Now we're going to be making our dressing for our cucumber salad. We're going to start by adding some rice vinegar to a small bowl, as well as soy sauce, sea salt, and sugar. And we're just going to carefully whisk this together. Now I'm just squeezing my cucumbers to remove the excess water, and I'm just transferring it to a separate bowl, and I'm going to continue until I'm done. I just finished squeezing the juice out of our cucumbers, so we're going to go ahead and pour in our dressing. Now we're just going to mix up our cucumber salad. Our cucumber salad is now done, so now I'm going to get started on the next part of our breakfast, which is going to be miso soup. Now I'm just prepping for our miso soup. This is cut wakame. This is from Sanriku, Japan, and basically it's just dried seaweed, and I'm just going to hydrate it with a little bit of water in this little bowl, and it's going to expand a lot, and then it's going to become hydrated. And there you go, our wakame is already hydrated. It has only been a few minutes, but now I'm going to show you the rest of the steps for our miso soup. For our miso soup, we're just going to add our water into our pot. Now I'm just going to add in our dashi powder into our water, and dashi powder is basically just made out of kombu, which is seaweed, and it's also made out of dried fish. Our dashi is now boiling, so I'm going to go ahead and turn the heat down, and then I'm going to go ahead and add in our miso. Right now I'm just measuring out some red miso, and this is just made out of fermented soybeans. Now that our dashi is cooled down some, we're going to go ahead and carefully mix in our miso. I'm just using a strainer so I can filter out the chunks of the miso, but this is totally optional. Now that I added our miso into our dashi, I'm just going to toss in our wakame seaweed, and then we're just going to take this off the heat. Our miso soup is now done. Some of you might be wondering though why it's missing tofu, and that's because I'm going to be making a tofu dish next. Now I'm going to be making some silken tofu with just a little bit of soy sauce, green onion, and dried fish flakes on top. So I'm just going to start by pouring a little bit of soy sauce over our silken tofu. And we're going to sprinkle on some green onion as well. The final touch is a little bit of dried bonito flakes, which is dried bonito, which is a fish, and then it's shaved into thin flakes. And there we go, our tofu is done. Now I'm going to be preparing some natto. This is a very popular breakfast item in Japan. Natto is basically just fermented soybeans, and it's very healthy because it contains a lot of vitamins as well as antioxidants. The first thing we're going to do is add in a little bit of soy sauce. They already gave this packet to us. And now I'm just going to squirt in the little packet of mustard that they give us. Now's the fun part. We're going to quickly mix this up with some chopsticks. And as you see, as we're mixing it up, it starts to get really gooey like this, but we're going to continue to do it. This is looking nice and gooey now. As you can see, it is extremely gooey. And now we're just going to go ahead and top this on top of rice. Now I'm just going to carefully place our natto on top of a bowl of rice. Now I'm just transferring the cucumber salad that I made earlier into a small bowl to serve. Now I'm just topping it off with a few sesame seeds. Alright, it's time to eat. I'm going to start by trying our natto, and I'm just going to eat it with a little bit of steamed rice. But I must warn you, it is not one of my favorite foods. I'm not a huge fan of it, but let's go ahead and try it anyways. And the natto for me is just okay. I like the flavor, has a nice strong fermented salty flavor, and it goes great with the rice, but for me it's just a little bit too slimy. Now I'm gonna have a taste of some fish cake that I sliced up. This is just some fish cake I bought at the store, and I topped it with some green onion. Well, let's give it a taste. And that's delicious. I just love the soft and chewy fish cake, and it goes great with the green onion, and it's a very popular breakfast item. Now I'm gonna have a taste of the miso soup, and the way you're gonna wanna drink this is you're just gonna sip it straight from the bowl. And that's delicious. It's nice and warm and comforting, and it's really just like a big hug. I just love the flavor. It has a rich, flavorful miso flavor that you don't get from miso soup that you would get at a restaurant. So I just love the homemade miso soup. Now I'm gonna have a taste of our cucumber salad. Usually I'm not a big fan of pickled items, but these I love the nice nuttiness from the sesame seeds that I sprinkled on top. They have a nice kick of sourness from the vinegar, and these are delicious. They're just super light and crispy and crunchy. Now I'm gonna have some grilled mackerel. I got this last night from my favorite Japanese restaurant, which is Kaita, and it is in Japantown of San Jose. So let's just go ahead and try this mackerel. Can't wait. This is one of my favorite things. That is delicious. It is buttery soft, extremely fresh, and I just love the natural oiliness and flavor of the mackerel. That is delicious. Finally, I'm gonna end by trying our tofu. Let's give it a taste. That tofu really makes a great breakfast item. It is extremely refreshing as it is still cold, and it goes great with that salty soy sauce and those earthy, rich fish flakes, and I just love the crunch of the green onion as well. That is just a really delicious tofu. And of course, you have to have green tea with your Japanese breakfast. And that is just delicious and incredibly smooth, and green tea is just one of my favorite teas in general. Amazing. Overall, I'm really pleased with this Japanese breakfast, and I'm gonna go ahead and finish this up, and I'll see you back here for lunch. It's time for lunch now. I'm gonna be taking Isabella's suggestion, and I'm gonna be getting Vietnamese food from Bon Con Bon Mok Ong Ta. It is such a long name, and I'm pretty sure I pronounced it wrong, so sorry if I did. Anyways, let's head over there now because I ordered some really interesting dishes. Alright, I just got back from getting our food, and I can't wait. Everything looks super delicious, but I'm gonna start by trying the beef stew. It's just filled with carrots and chunks of beef, so let's start by just trying the beef. That is a delicious beef stew. The beef is very high quality, and I love the texture of the meat. It has the perfect balance of strong meaty beef flavor mixed with fat, and that is delicious in that super flavorful and zesty stew. Wow, that is good. Let's try a little chunk of our carrot as well. Wow, that is one delicious sweet carrot, and what I love is they're not overcooked and mushy, and they still have a nice texture and crisp to them, so those are delicious, but they're not raw either. Perfectly cooked through. The stew also comes with what I presume to be beef tendon. I could be wrong, it could be some sort of a foot as well, but I love both, so let's just see how this is. I believe this is tendon. Wow, that tendon is extremely soft and delicate. It literally melts in your mouth, and I just love how it soaks up all the flavor from the broth. But another thing that I think will soak up all the flavor from the broth is this bread that came with it. This is just some baguette, and I'm gonna go ahead and dunk this in our stew. This is how you gotta eat bread. Wow, that is a delicious fresh baguette, and like I said, it just goes great with that stew. It just soaks up all the delicious flavors, and really, you just gotta eat it with a little bit of meat and carrot, and that is just pure stew heaven. That is so good. Next, I'm gonna be trying the bee con, which is a spring roll filled with pork and lettuce, and I can't wait to try this. The way I'm gonna enjoy this is I'm just gonna add some fried garlic on top of this, and I'm also just gonna add a very small portion of chilies. Like 1 or 2 should be good, because because I already tried some of the chilies earlier and they're extremely spicy. Wow, let's just go ahead and give this a taste. My mouth is literally watering. Wow, that is good, but it is so spicy. Next time I'm probably just gonna add one of those chili flakes. They're not kidding around. Those are some fresh chilies and they go great with that roll. I just love the flavor of the pork. Oftentimes I find the spring rolls are bland, but not in this case. The pork is heavily seasoned and I love the crunch of the lettuce and the crunch of the garlic as well. The fried garlic just adds a really strong garlic flavor. It really packs flavor into these spring rolls. Wow, these are a must try if you like spring rolls. These are just amazing. Next I'm going to be trying what I believe to be pronounced bon confit, but again, please forgive my pronunciation if it's wrong. This is one of their most popular items. It's basically made out of a fermented rice outside. It's almost like a fermented rice noodle, sort of. At least that's what it reminds me of. And it's filled with meat on the inside. It's gonna be a mixture of beef and pork. And it also comes with an egg roll and some steamed meats. But let's go ahead and try to start the show. Let's go ahead and give it a taste. I topped it with a little bit of fried garlic, and this time, 1 flake of chili. This is gonna be delicious. Wow, I love that. The outside is a little bit tart because it is fermented, and I love the addition of the garlic, which really balances out the tartness, and I love the chili as well, and the inside meat is extremely tender, and it goes great with the wood ear fungus that they put in there. That is so good. Now let's go ahead and try this egg roll they gave us on the side. Wow, that is delicious. I just love how it still stayed crunchy on the outside, but the inside does contain a little bit of shrimp, and I am allergic to shrimp, but luckily I only tasted a little bit, so I should be fine. Now let's go ahead and try our steamed meats. It looks like we have 3 sort of different types of meats. This is the first one. It's sort of like a semicircle, so let's give it a taste. And that's delicious. It just tastes like a little bit of ground chicken that was then steamed into a cake, and it's nice and chewy, and I just love the texture, and that's pretty delicious. Now let's go ahead and try the next one. This one looks really interesting. This one's almost like a rectangle. It sort of has the looks of tofu. So let's see how this is. I think it might be pork. And that's delicious. It's just pork, and again, I love the flavor and quality of the meat. It's just so soft and chewy and delicious. It's amazing. This is the last meat I'm going to be trying. I'm not sure what meat it is, but it looks very interesting. On the inside, I can see these white little streaks, which looks like some sort of animal ear, or perhaps some sort of collagen or tendon or fat. But either way, whatever it is, it's going to be delicious. So let's see how this is. Wow, that is delicious, but it certainly is a surprise. I thought the white stuff might be ears with some sort of cartilage, but it is garlic, and I love that. It's basically just raw garlic, and it's like eating straight up raw garlic mixed with meat. It tastes like beef, and there are some chunks of what I think is fat, and it's just so delicious. You gotta try this if you like garlic. This is just like garlic deliciousness. Anyways, I'm gonna finish up some lunch, and we're gonna pick up dessert, and it's gonna be really special. I just finished my lunch, and wow, that was just such a great suggestion. So thank you again, Isabella. I'm definitely gonna be back. Now it's time to go for dessert. I'm gonna be heading to Fancy Flavors, which is known for their fancy macaroons. And thank you, Heidi Phillips, for the suggestion. So let's head over there now. I just got back from Fancy Flavors, and I forgot to mention that they're a small Asian-owned bakery, and they're famous for their Asian-flavored macaroons. However, the first one I'm going to be trying is red velvet, so I'm curious to see how this is. Wow, that's delicious. It literally tastes like a red velvet cake in a macaroon. The outside tastes like a red velvet cake, and the inner filling tastes like sweet cream cheese, and I love that. This is a little bit more of a rich and sweet macaroon, but I love it. Next, I'm going to be trying the strawberry matcha flavor, and I can't wait to try this because I love matcha, which is also called green tea. Wow, I love that. The outside is a mixture of a strawberry and a matcha cookie, and on the inside you have a rich matcha cream with a sweet and tangy strawberry jam. Wow, this is just delicious, especially if you like matcha. I can really taste the matcha flavor, and that is just amazing. Now I'm gonna be trying the cookies and cream, and I can't wait to try this because I love anything that's cookies and cream flavor. Gosh, this is delicious. The outside is the same delicious cookie that literally melts in your mouth the second you bite into it. It is vanilla flavored, and I love the rich, creamy inside that has a strong, intense flavor of Oreos, and this is just really good. Next, I'm going to be trying ube or purple yam, and this just smells delicious. It has just such a rich scent coming off of it, so let's see how this is. If you like ube or if you like macaroons, you have to try this. The outside is a strong and flavorful ube cookie and filled with ube cream. And if you don't know what ube tastes like, to me it reminds me of a mixture between sweet potato and coconut sort of, and it's really good. Thank you again, Heidi, for your suggestion of trying macaroons because I just love these. This was definitely a really nice dessert. Now I'll see you back here for dinner. For dinner, I'm going to be taking Dinosaur's suggestion, so thank you Dinosaur for your suggestion of trying Brazilian food, so I'm going to be getting food from Tarina's Brazilian Steakhouse for dinner. I just placed my order, so let's go ahead and pick up our food now. I just got back from Tarina's Brazilian Steakhouse and all the food looks so delicious. The first item I'm going to be trying is their Brazilian cheese bread, and I can't wait to try this. This just smells wonderfully cheesy and rich. This Brazilian cheese bread is the bomb. It is super cheesy, it's just filled with cheese on the inside, and I love the flavor and it's nice and airy as well. Definitely recommend this if you enjoy cheese. Now I'm going to be trying our beef sirloin skewer. This just looks really charred on the outside and it actually feels pretty juicy in the middle, so let's give it a taste. Wow, that is good beef sirloin. It's nice and juicy. It's cooked to medium, which is how I like it. It's nice and juicy and very flavorful, and it's also quite fresh as well. I really recommend that if you like steak. It is incredibly juicy for takeout. Now let's go ahead and try our rice. And that's delicious. Our rice is nice and garlicky, and I love how they use some of the meat juice. It kind of seeps down from the sirloin into the rice, so it really adds flavor to it. And the green onions on top also add a nice crisp and crunch. That is some good rice. Now let's see how their black beans are. The black beans are cooked to perfection. They're extremely soft, smooth, and creamy, and I think that goes really good with the rice. Those paired together are delicious. Finally, let's go ahead and try our mashed potatoes. They're topped with a mixture of bacon bits and breadcrumbs, and it smells really smoky and delicious. So let's see how this is. Wow, those mashed potatoes are delicious. I love how they're not too rich. They're nice and light, but while being nice and light, they're extremely creamy and rich and smooth and fluffy. They're so delicious, and I love the crunch from the bacon bits on top. This is a must try if you like bacon. This is just so bacony and so delicious. I just finished up my dinner and I really enjoyed it, so thank you Dinosaur for the suggestion of trying Brazilian food. Today I just had a really fun time exploring new restaurants and trying new dishes, so thank you to everyone that commented, because without you, this video wouldn't be possible. If this video does well, I might do a part 2, so be sure to leave down any other suggestions for stuff that I should try in a day, because I might add that to my part 2. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't already, because I would really appreciate it since I'm almost to 1,000 subscribers. And also, make sure to give the video a like, and I'll see you guys in the next one.